3rd of June in this year 2022. Now, thank you so much for choosing to be with us once again as we also end our segment of Good Morning Uganda that starts at 6:30 with Chirabo Nyonyi Ntono just right there, and the team all through to at 10 o'clock. Now, this is our last segment. My name is Jagenda Semakola Ziksoka Raj Sajabi. A very good morning, and of course thanking you so much. We will end this of course today by talking about the National Exports the National Export Awareness Week, and joining me in studios is none other than Dr. Eli Twineo Kamjisha, the Executive Director of the Export Promotions Board. You're very welcome, Comrade Dr. Eli Twineo.
No, thank you very much. I am so happy to be in my studio, in our studio, and to be back home after a COVID period where it had cut me off because I used to be a regular of this home, my home. Thank you. And morning viewers, I'm so happy to be with you and share with you. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. What's there with export to start with that Uganda and Sudan colonial before you get into the National Export Awareness Week? But just exports, when we talk about exports, people just need to understand what you do as the ED of Export Promotions Board on a daily.
Jagenda, every time I wake up, my head is full, and I reach the office and I find all the tables are full. People are calling from a whole globe, because we help exporters to find markets. But we and those are exporters already, but also we help potential exporters to find market. But also we provide government with information that we help them to plan for exporting. And we take businesses, private sector to different countries to find markets. We do promotions, we do buyer-seller meetings, and me as the leader, the team leader at Uganda Export Promotion Board, I have the team who are in trade information, who are in promotions, who are in export marketing and international business advisory, who are in logistics management advisory, international contracting, but also those who understand the policy, because then sometimes, most times, exporters and the private sector come with issues that we have to frame in a policy nature and then can be taken to government for action.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's talk about the National Export Awareness Week 2022, and to just put it into perspective, when is it happening, why is it happening, what are its objectives, and what is there in the Export Awareness Week that we need to understand?
Now, the Export Week is an annual activity, it's an annual week. During this week, we have what we call focused discussions by sector, and we call them export business clinics. We have had agricultural exports business clinic. We have had manufactured products business clinics and service exports business clinics. And then those are clinics. And then we have the National Exporters Conference. The National Exporters Conference is a discussion, is a dialogue between the government and the private sector. It brings together the private sector players, exporters, and supply chain players, logistics handlers, airlines, road transport, aggregators, traders, and government, MDS, government agencies and ministries to discuss how to take exports trend and growth and exports drive to the next level. We had that one yesterday, and today we are having what we call the President's Export Award. The President established an export award to recognize those who are contributing to the exports. As you know, exports is a process. Export is a business. Export is commitment as opposed to imports. Importing is trade. You can go to China or India and pick your things, Turkey, come sell the good suit, the good coat, jacket you are putting on the agenda, and you sell, and then you get more money, go back. But for the export, you invest time, you invest brains, you invest costs. So the president established this to recognize the exporters who are helping to change the nation. And please, you know, at one time Uganda was exporting very little, and these were mainly the traditional cash crops. Now we are exporting manufactured products, we are exporting services, in addition to what we used to export.
Okay, so the awards, the President's Export Awards, the PA, are happening tonight?
Are happening tonight, yes.
Okay, the people that are supposed to receive awards were already contacted, or they were already even nominated, picked, and of course decided on?
Yes, we had the vetting process, and we almost have lost 3 years because, as you know, of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, and we couldn't do it. Yet exporters enjoy it, they like it, because all of us like being recognized. By the way, recognition is an incentive that takes you to work all the time. If we are working for money all the time, I would be tired of money, and it becomes hard food for Midas. Okay. You know, so when you are recognized, you get that inner feeling that, hey, I've been contributing. So people and companies were saying, what is happening? What we told them, there was COVID, so they lost time. And so we had to rush and speed up, at least that this year we can recognize them, we can appreciate them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a vision that we are supposed to achieve, which is the Vision 2040.
Yes.
Just recently, we had His Excellency the President tell us we have entered into the lower middle income status. Whatever that means now, it's of course understood by you who understand figures and economics and anything, but you may find that the mwananchi now may not put meaning to that. But from the big vision that we have, we have, I think we're supposed to have about 6 NDPs to achieving that. We are just implementing the third NDP, which we launched at a time when the world was hit by a pandemic of COVID-19. And just looking at that, of course, now as we implement the NDP 3, we also have the PDM coming out. From the exports angle, help me understand how we are popularizing, helping and managing to implement the NDP 3 and also the PDM.
You know, Jagenda has loaded me, but I will loaded, but that shows the grasp of the whole economy that you have in your head. You have Vision 2040, which is being implemented by National Development Plans, which is a 5-year, every 5 years, and we are in the 3rd one. And it is true the 3rd one came when we had COVID. Actually, the National Planning Authority went back. And the National Planning Authority, at times I call it the National Development Authority, because in other countries, that is what it is called. They went back and revised the NDP. They revised even our targets as a country. But what was coming up and what is coming up during the National Development Plan 3 and the NRM manifesto, the NRM government promised the people to bring services at the parish level, but also to monetize the economy, to commercialize the economy. And that is what brings in the parish development model. The parish development model is meant to reduce households that are in subsistence. And personally, I'm very happy about it, Jagenda, because I have, you know, all our discussions have always been that if all Ugandans could have what to sell to the market, something to sell in the market, an item, a service, small as it is, you know, there are 39 households who don't sell any, as a percentage of 100, who don't sell anything in the market. So the parish development model is meant to help to put some money, because sometimes these people don't sell anything to the market because they cannot get loans, they cannot qualify for loans, so they are bringing circles. There is always going to be a circle at every parish, and we are going to also to identify crops which normally, to me, what I've seen are going to be more of a commercial nature, more to be sold in the market. And then we can have good stores, and then we can have good crops, then we can have agriculture extension. The purpose of this is to expand and increase production, but also productivity, so that we have more production, because the more you produce, even if you are in subsistence agenda, if you produce more than your stomach, you'll say, where do I put these ones? Do I keep them because you don't have even good storage? So you have to sell them. As you sell them, you are entering a money economy. You are entering a market economy. Countries which are developed, everybody sells something to the market, and it is important. Now, when they have done that, for us as exporters, then we go in, as promoters or exporters, we advise at parish level what can be exported. And then we bring in traders and exporters who will buy their products. And do you know what happens? If the parish development model works very, very well for 5 years, Uganda will double its agro-based exports. Double. That would, and what it will mean, in the next 15 years, 10 to 15 years, Uganda will be a prosperous country. And your target was 2040. Me, I'm giving you 15.
Are you sure?
Yes, from now, including this year to 7 years, if we do the parish model very well, and if we don't experience another pandemic, and we don't get insecurity, and if our neighbors' problems don't spill over to us, and if that's why I encourage the governments of the EAC, governments of Uganda, governments of Kenya, of Tanzania, of Rwanda, of Burundi to work, and the South Sudan to ensure that there is peace in DR Congo. Because any bad thing that is happening, conflicts in Congo, will spill over to Tanzania, to all of us, to Kenya, to Burundi. For us, it is automatic. We share the longest border with DR Congo. Why am I talking about parish development model and exports, and I'm talking about security? Money hates noise, and you will not even attract tourism, and tourism is an export.
Money hates noise. That's another very good one. Well, thank you. What's our export potential as a country? Because we've talked about export promotion and import substitution.
Yes.
You just talked about earlier on. You gave a very good analogy of somebody can just wake up now. They have $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Go to China, buy a few handsets, bring them here, go find a shop in Chikubo, anywhere, trade. Sell them, then again pick a flight, go back to Dubai, pick things, bring them, sell. They make a living like that. They are in the money economy, but they are importing. We are talking about export promotions. What is our export potential like, and are we up to it? I want you to tally that too, or to target to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is a game changer for the continent of Africa, with a whopping 1.2 billion market that we're talking about.
Those who are watching us, you can see the whole head of Jagenda has got a lot of many things. And I'm so happy, by the way. Thank you very much for that wide knowledge, because before I go into this, I'll tell you, sometime, and I said it yesterday, I listened to Timothy Kagira. It was, I think, World Journalism Day. And he said in Uganda, 95% of the news, print, electronic, broadcast, whatever, is 95 is politics and sports. Only 5 is. So we are very few, me and you, in this country who understand economics, business, development.
That are not sports.
Exactly, these things that are not sports. So we are in the 5%, me and you, and I'm so happy that me and you are in the 5%.
Well, that's very good.
Now I can answer your question.
Me to the 5%.
Last night, I had the president was, there is an article by the president in the international media, and he's saying that one of the most important things that we should be looking at is the issue of how we should negotiate together, how we should work together. So when you look at African Continental Free Trade Area, it is good, it's a big market, and we should negotiate together with other countries outside of Africa. But also within Africa, Jagenda, the African Continental Free Trade Area is good for Uganda. Can I tell you that for the last 5 years, even more, for the last 5 years, even more, Uganda has been trading more has been trading more with the ESC, COMESA, than outside countries. In other words, 50 to 60% of exports, 50 to around 60% of our exports have been going to our brothers and sisters. So if we expand into the African Continental Free Trade Area, is a plus. And with the coming on board of DR Congo, Uganda will be trading more than 50% within EAC. Very important, within the EAC. And you're asking me the potential for Uganda to trade within EAC and African Continental Free Trade Area is one. Exporting manufactured, value-added and manufactured products within the region, which is happening already. Like with DR Congo, we export formal and informal agriculture, but also manufactured products. The potential for us to sell the services within the EAC, but also within the African Continental Free Trade Area, and these services include logistics, education services, even consultancy, a lot of consultancy in construction, in audit and related services, in legal services, but also in recreation. As you know, we have people like Kenzo, who are winning African awards, as you know. We have people like Anna Kansime, who are making a lot of money on YouTube by doing all this.
Comedy and etc.
And comedy and extra. So the potential is big, but also Jagenda, there is also agriculture. Because while agriculture, we should graduate from agriculture. If we commercialize agriculture, we are going to get more money from exporting food products. You know what helped us during COVID is that most households were self-sufficient in food. And you see the president has been encouraging self-reliance in food. And I see this will happen if we go to the parish development model. Why? Because we are suffering that we are dying to eat bread. Yes, bread, wheat, you know, gluten, and you can even get a lot of cholesterol. Actually, for me, for diet purposes, I no longer take bread. I don't take rice because I'm told they give me cholesterol. But I can take matoke. They told me, matoke. In Uganda, we call it mere. If you take mere forever, you never get problems of blood pressure, of anything. But if you take wheat and rice, chances you will get one time what? You get cholesterol and you get bad blood pressure. You can get sugar levels high. You can get diabetes. So, but Uganda's food products, which we can sell in the region, will not give people diabetes.
Okay, very important. And you know, you've talked about agriculture. And I'm only thinking, I've tried to look and study and acquaint myself with the PDM,
yes.
The parish development model,
yes, yes.
How I think it will work and how it will be implemented, yes. And the things that they are looking at or looking into.
Yes.
But agriculture,
yes.
You notice that people will get into the PDM. About 90% of them are thinking agriculture, and that's where they will go. And I know that we have big potential in agriculture to export, and this is where I want you to come in. We've tried. We have people who have carried stuff out of here and said, I have a market in Dubai, I have a market in the UK, I take pineapples, I take avocados, I take all the things. Quality assurance is one of our biggest things. That today, a one Twineo will take pineapples to this market in Europe anywhere, in Germany, etc., and it'll be very good. Today will get market, today will get, today will be given business. The next time it takes, the quality will be not the same quality. The third time it takes, actually what will take will be disposed of, and then maybe that closes. From your angle as Export Promotions Board, how do you ensure that if we talk about pineapples that everybody talks about and says, the pineapples of Uganda are second to none in the world. How do we keep that quality? How do we ensure that we are known for that and say, if you want a pineapple, go to this East African country called Uganda, or find somebody in that East African country called Uganda for pineapples that you need? And
Jagenda, that's a good question. You see, in agricultural products, you succeed by having what? By having, commercialization of agriculture will happen with the parish development model, and I'll tell you how. Because then we can be able to get quantity, to identify people who are producing same products, and we bring them together. Then we can identify quality at the parish, at the parish development, at the parish itself. Let me start with, I'll come to fruits and vegetables, but let me start with grains. You see, people have been producing 1 tin, 1 sack, half a sack in different places.
Exactly.
And they had no storage. But now with the parish development model, we are going to have storage at the parish. So with grains then, as it used to be with cooperatives, ebyaji, bakola, they check every quality. Because when you bring your product to a cooperative store, they sort. So they sort and tell you, this is not quality, and the quality we are buying.
Post-harvest.
And post-harvest handling has been the challenge. Now we are even putting extension workers at the parish. And in some places, it is the beginning, but in the next 5 years, I see a possibility whereby even if we find this parish is producing a lot, we could have more extension workers specializing. I give an example of grains, but also I can also give an example of in some places like Bundibujo, like Greater Mukono, and Mwebende now, for cocoa, for example. Again, these guys will be encouraged to produce more cocoa. Now, when they produce more cocoa, but they are being given extension at that parish level, then they bring it to the store. It will be cleaned. So now, at parish development model, at that level, we are commercializing agriculture, because then the buyer, Jagenda, who is a buyer, aggregator, he will come and pick the right quality. But he has enough quantities. And when you have enough quantities, you don't want to compromise quality. You don't want to pick this and that. And it is the same for fruits and vegetables. And these fruits and vegetables, sometimes we have had problems, not because it is not quality, but one, sometimes there are pests which attack even other countries, but we need to handle them. The other one has been pesticide residues, the residues to spray more. The other one has been always, of course, a post-harvest handling challenge. Problem, So what will be happening now when many people are involved in this? They self-discipline. Uganda Export Promotion Board has encouraged the fruits and vegetable players to associate. They have now formed strong produce and export associations, and these will be working with MAIF, Ministry of Agriculture, and ourselves, and UNBS to ensure that we clean before we go outside. And I tell you, once we do that, our fruits and vegetables are the best. I was listening last night to somebody on TV, and this gentleman, I think, is Honorable Consul to Djibouti. And they said when they were going to Djibouti, they went with some pineapples. They went as a trade delegation. And somebody was saying, you guys, have you put salt in the pineapple? Have you put sugar before in the pineapple? Is this pineapple laced with sugar, like as if you put piso, you put in a syringe and you put in sugar? The guy said no. They said this is our pineapple, and that is the same case. Same case with pineapples, avocado, our sweet bananas. So I can assure you, the issue of quality we have been handling, and it is improving all the time. In fact, as you know, we had the challenges of quality around 2014, 15, 16, towards there. Towards 17, interceptions declined, and now we are doing a good job. What we are working on also, the government is going to have to buy a machine, promised through finance and the Uganda Development Corporation, UDC, to buy a Gamma Beta machine, which will be put at the airport. Because most of fruits and vegetables go by air, and then the machine, the goods will go through the machine to test for any of these impurities. And I think we'll do well. Okay,
well, that's very important. Just recently, when the president was speaking to us on, I think during the State of the Nation address, just before we got into the budget, he highlighted to us and said the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development went to him and told him they have discovered our gold mineral worth is almost 13 trillion US dollars.
Yes.
Now, that would be about the third or fourth biggest economy in the world. Just with that.
Yes.
And of course, it's not something that you'll say, okay, tomorrow we will get into that, and of course Uganda will be there. But we have our own comparative advantages, and of course these especially in agriculture or with agriculture. When you look at the PDM, there are quite a number of products in there that we are putting our efforts to. Do we as a country have something that is unique to us? For example, when you talk about countries like Jamaica, you are talking about athletes, you talk about sprinters, Bolt, Safa Powell and all the others, and maybe the musicians. When you talk about there are countries that you hint to and say that country is known for this. When you talk about Brazil, what comes to your head is coffee and sports immediately. So for Uganda, for Uganda's case, for example, do we have something that we can say we are intending to export, and this is what we will export? With all the other things that we will do, but we'll put our effort on this and let this thing be known as Uganda. Let this thing market Uganda, and let Uganda be known in this thing. Do we have that, or we try each and everything as we can?
Jagenda, as always, your questions are very loaded, but I'll try to dissect it. Jagenda. So, yes. Very loaded, I'm telling you. So, one, Uganda, with regard to comparative and competitive advantages, we are centrally located. And why we have always been landlocked, we actually look at ourselves as land linked. Our connection is our central location here within the EAC, and some people say even Central Africa. It gives us a chance to connect to counties north of our country, countries south of our country, southwest of our country, and west of our country. And east of our country, where most of our goods come when they come by water. So Uganda has, in the region, Uganda has already developed comparative advantages, by the way, in production and sale, including exporting of processed food-related products, dairy products, other food products, even maize and beans, fish products, even products that come out, the wines and juices and beverages that we are getting out, even we have even wines we are getting out of what? Of agricultural products. But also, Uganda also has developed comparative advantage in selling even non-processed agricultural products to the region. So that no one will take it away. Secondly, thirdly, the first one was processed value-added agricultural products, then agriculture, then manufacturing. Do you know Uganda has established itself in production, sale, and export of construction materials in this region now? Construction materials, what we call base metal products, or iron and steel products.
Iron and steel, yes.
We are doing very well, both informal and formal. We are doing very well with cement. We are doing very well with also other products in the region, what we call vegetable oils and fats, which is in Tujita cooking oil, sometimes we call it butu. Yes. But also we have established ourselves to be a very serious producer of sugar. You have heard that we have had issues, our neighbors at times having challenges with accepting our sugar. We are producing a lot of sugar now. But let me talk about the other agricultural products that we can compete, again, not only in the region, but international, and be known for.
Exactly.
One is coffee. We have always had coffee, and you have seen the government and the president has put thrust in making sure that we produce more coffee, because the demand for coffee will never go away anyways. But me as the ED of Uganda Export Promotion Board, and I beg people to take my advice, is I also want them to add cocoa.
On top of coffee?
On top of coffee, because cocoa can grow very well alongside coffee.
Cocoa is what we use to get chocolate and etc. And this is what is in Bundi Bujo,
and Greater Mukono, and some parts of Kamuli, in Mobende now. And we have established that the cocoa can grow in most parts of Uganda where coffee grows. So that
on top of coffee, you're also encouraging cocoa.
On top of this, I want Uganda in the next 10 years. I want Uganda to make $5 billion out of cocoa alongside coffee. Alongside coffee. I'll tell you why. In 1980s, coming to 1982, Ivory Coast, which we call Côte d'Ivoire in French, was one of the major exporters alongside with Uganda of coffee. They diversified and promoted cocoa. Nowadays, Ivory Coast, which is smaller in size and with 25 million people now, exports $5 billion of cocoa. Remember that same place grows coffee. And cocoa is not labor intensive. And cocoa, once it has grown for about 70 years, you will be harvesting from those trees. As a matter of fact, people in Bundubujo are harvesting from the gardens of their what?
Their grandees.
Some of them are third generation. Some of them are third generation owners of the cocoa gardens.
If you don't cut the trees.
If you don't, you are not supposed to cut the trees. In fact, somebody who loves cocoa finds you cutting the trees will be very, very disappointed. Will be very hurt in English, because you can't cut gold. How can you cut and throw away gold? You just have to keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coffee, cocoa are some of those things. Well, thank you very much. Ndugu Dr. Eli Twineo, the Executive Director of the Export Promotions Board. And of course, we talk about the National Export Awareness Week 2022. Yes. And we'll just take a break very shortly, then return and continue with the conversation of the National Export Awareness Week with a man himself who thinks, talks, eats, sleeps exports. We'll come back shortly.
Thank you very much.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Fun is our flavor. When we're together, the vibe is pretty alright. Our taste is pretty awesome. We are Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment. Enjoy Mirinda Fruity, Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment.
Affordable packages, great entertainment,
sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Everybody. Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Ugandan shillings per month. GoTV, great stories. Zidiwano, GoTV Uganda. Love it.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services.
I now harvest a lot of cocoa. When I harvest it, I sell. After selling, I put money in my project. I have 2 projects. One is for construction of my house. 2 is for educating my children.
Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation. The Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is back! on Sunday, 3rd July 2022 at Lubiri Mengo. This year, the run will be physical and will be flagged off by Sabasajja Kabaka at 7 a.m. Come out in large numbers once again to Lubiri Mengo. Run for a cause to fight and end HIV by 2030. Buy your ticket today at 15,000 Uganda shillings from Airtel shops at Tobani Center, New Taxi Park, ShopRite Building, Benchwanka Street, Majestic Brands Office at Bulange Mengo. You can also buy your ticket using Airtel Money. Dial *185*5#. Select Payments, select Kabaka Run, and follow the prompts to complete the payment. Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is brought to you by UNAID, CBS, BBS, and Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Tale. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Thank you very much and welcome back from the break. My name is Jagenda Semakola Ziksoka with Dr. Eli Twineo Kumjisha, the Executive Director of the Uganda Export Promotion Board. With me here to talk about the National Export Awareness Week 2022. The week is on. When is it ending?
It is ending this week. We actually extended the week. We started it last week. So it has covered. It has one leg behind and one leg in front.
We will very shortly, in actually a week's time, we'll be now again getting or implementing or starting on another financial year.
Yes.
We just got a budget a few days ago, and I just want to know, because I know you are under MTIC, Trade International Cooperatives.
Yes.
I'm trying to find their budget and to see the vote of export promotions itself.
Yeah.
What priority are you? Because when we talk about exports and we're looking at exporting to actually earn and get and do all the things, I do not know how you were considered, and I don't know how your parent ministry, MTIC, also considers you in there.
You know, I make this disclaimer that, you know, Uganda is a developing country, so the budget will necessarily be small. And because, you know, Uganda had engaged in big infrastructure projects, the big roads, the power stations, it has some lot of debt to pay. We have Mabanja, which we have to pay. And I don't want us to be very bad people who borrow and don't pay back as a country. So whatever remains, we have to live within our means. I know the budget is small, and coming out of COVID, people might look at 48 trillion.
48.1 trillion.
And they say that's a lot of money. Put it in dollars and it will be no money at all. Some of us who are involved in promotional exports and who use more for the dollar and foreign exchange and other currencies when we are looking for markets and when we are doing promotion activities, you find the budget is small. What we have agreed with the Minister of Finance and our ministry is that at least let's get what we would call operating budget. And so we are so happy a bit that at least this year we were given some additional of around 3 billion. I think, as a matter of fact, 3.25 billion Uganda shillings, which is a drop in the ocean, but which shows the recognition, jargon, that actually the government realizes the exports matter, that even when they have these pressures coming out of COVID, and COVID has not yet gone, so the health budget and the education budget have to be so high. Children have not been at school, but also security, because we live in a volatile environment, a volatile neighborhood. Some of the countries in the region are not yet at peace. The government has been able to add additional 3 billion so that we can do our work. One important thing that they have done is that they have allowed us to recruit additional staff.
Okay.
Because for you to create awareness, now with the parish development model, my staff will be moving to different places and will be have to look at different special products. In the region where they grow cocoa, they'll be training people to prepare to produce working with MAIF, Minister of Agriculture, working with Minister of Finance and UNBS to prepare people to produce for export, of say cocoa. Where it is coffee, with UCDA, with Maif, with others. Where it is other fruits and vegetables, we have to do that. Where it is dairy, but also we have also non-agricultural exports, manufactured, and we have services. So for me, to have allowed us to recruit, I will go back and say, okay, you allowed me to recruit, but now you want these people to sit and earn a salary without working? I need the budget. So to me, that is already a game changer to allow us to recruit. Then you recruit people, and then you go back to finance and parliament and say they want to work. And let me tell you, parliament is now appreciative of exporting.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure that they are appreciative. Their concern is too much now, you see it. Then cabinet is highly appreciative of exporting. And you know what makes me happy? That the public now begins to know. You know, when you have heard the public complaining, we are borrowing a lot, they are saying we need to produce and earn foreign exchange instead of begging for it. So Uganda, by the way, you know, Uganda has very many bright people, and everybody is bright. And I respect those who are reading us, because when you are reading bright people,
Very
everybody
bright
bright,
people,
it makes it very difficult. I'm telling you, because everybody has their point of view, everybody has their opinion,
Their
everybody
ideas.
knows their ideas. So Uganda has got very many bright people, and they begin to see what changes the nation. And Jagenda and the viewers, I promise you that if we focus on where we are now and continue to export the manufactured products, expand them, import substitution, export promotion, Uganda will change. We will reduce borrowing automatically. We get more what we call foreign exchange reserves, because you get foreign exchange reserves when you export more. But when you import more, the Kampala, the Kasitas and others, and they are my friends, Sechito and others, if you are listening to me, I want to come and convert you. I want you to become exporters, but you can keep importing because we'll never stop importing. For example, for manufacturing, we import spare parts, factory parts, we import capital goods, equipment, but also we import intermediate goods that sometimes we use
can't stop importing
as raw materials. You can't stop importing,
But we need to export more.
Yes, and we need to reduce exporting consumer goods, including as small as a knicker and a panty.
And hair.
And hair.
You're supposed to have natural hair.
Natural hair. On your hair. But all my ladies, sisters and brothers, all of them, even when they have good hair, they think that they have to cover their natural hair with the imported hair.
You're supposed to have natural hair. If you don't have natural hair, then you're supposed to look like yourself, like Dr.
By the way, where does that hair come from that they are putting on their heads?
If it is even hair, you need to get into that. Mindset. It's another very big thing, and let's talk about mindset, because we talk about export promotions, we talk about all the things. Mindset. NDP 3 chapter 18 is exclusive. It talks about that. The PDM, I think it's pillar number 7, talks about mindset.
Yes.
When you broaden it, go to the ESC Vision 2050. It has a whole chapter in there for a mindset.
Yes.
The Africa Dream 2063, the Africa that we want to see by 2063, has all these things called mindset.
Yes.
But whose mindset are we talking about?
Yes.
And where are we?
And that is very good. In fact, when you think about mindset, I want to say let me leave my job and go spend 3 years writing a book, but which will never even be read, because Africans don't like reading.
They don't.
Mindset,
And it's because we don't have what
and
to
it
read.
will be like an encyclopedia. It will be too big because mindset. But before I talk about mindset, let me take this opportunity to appreciate and thank Right Honorable Robin Nabanja,
The Prime Minister.
our Prime Minister. I watched her on a program on another TV station the other night, not last night, the other night. And she, let me tell you, she understands the parish development model. She was able to explain the parish development model, I think, for 2 hours in vernacular in Uganda, and I appreciated it. She has it like in her head, and I think we need such leaders who will understand the government programs and explain it to us. So that is Right Honorable, thank you very much. You are representing us very well. Mindset is so important, and you have seen that it is stated everywhere. Like importing is a mindset, as you know, because Ugandans believe that what is made here is not good. Everything that is made here is not good. Some are almost going to, they go to supermarkets to buy even fruits and vegetables, including tomatoes and onions from these supermarkets. And they think those ones have been imported. They don't know that we have cleaned and put them in put them there. As a matter of fact, we agreed, our Minister of Trade agreed with the supermarkets that they have to sell at least 40% of Ugandan produce in all their supermarkets. Whoever is not doing it one of these days, when the inspectors come, be aware, because that is important. Why am I saying mindset? Because in international business agenda and the viewers, we say positioning is in the mind. It is the mind that buys the product. It is the mind that the body consumes it, but the mind, your mind tells you that, oh, this product is good, I want to buy it. So our mindset has been to believe, one, that we have to live in our subsistence and it is okay, produce your own food. Every household works hard to produce its own food, because that is how it has been the traditional way. The issue is to feed, how do I feed my stomach? But that is, do you know, in England, in Britain, that was before in the 17th century. Can you imagine, Jagan? In the 17th century. Because you should be, don't think of working, of feeding, digging to feed your household. No, you should be working to feed your household. Not digging, but working to feed your household. What I mean is that go and do all those activities that give you money, and when you get money, then you look after your family. In terms of taking them to school, in terms of medical care, in terms of food. In fact, in other places, people produce what they don't consume, sell them in the market, and buy what they don't produce. Because why we want the market to operate, and that is the mindset aspect, is that what has kept some households in poverty is to believe that since I always produce my own food, I'm self-sufficient. Our family has never had a problem. We are not like the other family who have to buy from the market. You know, in rural areas, people blame those who buy things from the market, because they say they should be self-sufficient and producing them. That mindset is wrong. You need to produce for the market, and you need to buy products in the market. So that's a mindset. But beyond that is the ideological mindset. That we emancipate ourselves, decolonize our mind, because the belief, and I see that mindset, and I wanted to expand, the belief that what is foreign is good, and that is what even why racism has survived, because we believe that whites are more superior than blacks. And if anyone told me that outside of the studio and I had a shotgun, then his head would be gone, and that is gone to the grave. That belief is a mindset problem.
Yes, it's a mindset problem.
Because people think that the Muzungu, the white person, is more superior. Even me and you, Jagan, can employ them, and sometimes I've employed them, these whites, and some of them actually are so weak in the mind.
They come to our churches and they don't even have a gospel to preach, but because of their color,
then you give them the rostrum.
We let them preach and say
on the pulpit, and people are clapping.
Yes, but and everybody feels, somebody has spoken, even without content.
Yesterday, yesterday we had a testimony in our annual conference. A doctor, as a matter of fact, he's the Secretary General of the Medical Workers Association, the doctors, Dr. Ruswata. Ruswata said he was doing He had 1 degree and he was there doing cesarean on what? On women in Kawempe hospital, referral. And then there was this doctor, I not mention the country, a white doctor, who was doing her masters in the same specialization and kept looking. So are you like an intern or volunteer here? What are you doing? Because he said, once you are in the theater and you are there, you don't go. They bring you operate that one, you do cesarean, that one goes, you stay, so you keep. So he said, I kept to this lady, was not doing anything. So I said, if she cannot do anything, let her come and do what? Let her come and help with what? With at least gloves or
like any other nurse.
Like any other nurse. And then he asked, but are you a nurse here? The lady kept quiet. Later on, the lady said, actually, I am a medical doctor, already qualified. I'm doing my master's. He said, how did you study? He said, for us, we study using simulators. We are given machines. We never operate on the real life situation. So for us in Uganda, for example, we learn from real life situation. We know poverty from real situation. We know real life from theaters as doctors. We know real life by what happens to us every day. We know malaria because mosquitoes have been biting us. This is what you should see. That mindset that an African is more resilient. You see how we survived COVID? You see how many those who claim that they were superior than us died more than us, and they rest in the peace, the souls of those who went. But even when they had modern systems, so we need to begin to believe in ourselves.
Sure.
Self-esteem. Whenever we are walking, we should have self-esteem.
And walk with our heads high.
And work with our heads high.
Finally, talk about the awards. How many are they? How many are receiving them? And in what categories? Maybe those that you can remember in 2 minutes, and we'll be out of studios.
In 2 minutes, we are giving awards in manufacturing exports, in agriculture exports, in service exports. Within like agriculture, you have say coffee and non-coffee exports. You have those cocoa, you have fruits and vegetables. But also we are giving special awards. There is a category of special awards. Organizations that have been supporting the export drive. Media houses, embassies, other agencies, development partners that have supported the export drive also is important that we recognize them.
Okay. One final statement on the Export Awareness Week before you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Export Awareness Week will end today with the Presidential Exporters Award. It has been a very exciting period. I hope you got enough information. What we are waiting for is that we wanted to create awareness, and therefore we want you to swamp our offices with inquiries via email, via our website, via other media, but also sometimes physically visiting us so that we address your export queries, inquiries, and issues.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Eli Trineo, the Executive Director of the Uganda Export Promotion Board, for having allowed to join us here, and of course for the very good work that you're doing with exports. You know, when I'm talking about exports in this country, I talk about Eli. If anybody wants to talk to me about exports, or if I hear anything export, the first person who comes to my head is Trineo.
Tell them if they doubt that they should even wake me at night and tap on my head like this.
You will talk exports.
You will hear exports.
Let's stop the conversation here. Thank you so much. We will get more engagements. And of course, thanking you so much for being part of Good Morning Uganda Extra segment today. My name is Jagana Semakola Ziksoka. Wishing you all the best for today, for God and my country. Shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time.